Mr. President, before I make some final comments, I just want to say thank you to Senator Newman. He runs a great committee, and I appreciate our friendship and our working relationship. And of course, for Senator Newman, I don't want to steal your thunder, but let me also, before you do, thank our staff who do such amazing work and make us look so good. And I want to commend your staff, Senator Newman, always extremely hospitable, very friendly, very, very responsive. Sam Zender, David Larson, Dave Frazier, our nonpartisan staff, who I have absolutely no idea how they do it, performing daily miracles. I don't think they sleep. Lexi Stengel and Krista Boyd, and of course my own staff, Diana Elhart and Ryan Majerus, and my interns, Jesse Crosby and Mitchell Walstead. That being said, Senator Newman, I think you said it best when you opened up with your introduction to this bill, that it is quite different from the governor's bill. That's putting it mildly. Members and Mr. President, this bill does little to nothing to address what we need in the form of our infrastructure, our transportation needs for Minnesota. Senator Cohen already talked about the massive shift that we make from the general fund into transportation purposes, inappropriately so, and making that part of our transportation funding package totally inadequate to the task, although represented differently last cycle, addressing maybe 12% of the need and doing very little for transportation, but doing very serious damage to our general fund priorities. The fact is we have a glaring lack of investment in our transportation system. Senator Clausen already pointed out we have the 5th largest roadway system in the country, but being about midpoint in terms of geographic size and population and economy. So that's great. That means the people from whom we inherit the state have done great things and worked very hard and sacrificed a lot to deliver an amazing, successful state. And now it's our turn to deliver on that legacy that we inherit, and we're not doing that. Half of the roadway system is 50 years old or older. It's wearing out. I'm 53. I know how that feels. We have about 700,000 more people who are going to be here in the next 10 to 15 years, the population of North Dakota. You've heard that before. 1 million more by 2050. These people are going to need to get around. We're going to have a 40% increase in freight traffic, and that's going to have significant consequence and impact on our roadway and infrastructure. We have a worker shortage. I talked about that earlier. Jobs are going unfilled, and one of the reasons is people can't conveniently get from where they live to where the jobs are. And we know the population is going to be older. Many of these new people and older people will be in the metropolitan area, and if we don't build transit for them, they're going to have to go on roadways, which will be way more expensive to first build and then to keep up. We need transit solutions for workers, seniors, and young people all over Minnesota. Senator Friends tried to do something for that earlier tonight, and that was basically rejected. We need to make the necessary repairs, expand capacity, improve the safety on our roads in a lot of places. 90% of the road miles are owned and operated by townships, cities, and counties. If the state isn't helping offset the expenses of those roadways, then it comes down entirely to local property taxes. And we know that property taxes have gone in the last few years from 20% dedicated to transportation and roads to 30%. The alternative is that we live with crumbling roads at the local level, and both of those things are happening. Property taxes are increasing, and the roads are crumbling at the county, township, and city level. And we know that the costs of failure to pay are greater than making some key investments. We know that we pay in the form of congestion. Being stuck in traffic costs a tremendous amount of real dollars to Minnesotans. Not being able to get to that key job, a loss of opportunities. Goods and services not getting to the market efficiently. $300 million cost to our businesses. $1,000 average cost to the motorists. The property and health costs of accidents. The cost of repairs from bad roads, averaging $350 per Minnesotan. Of course, the cost of environmental impacts and impacts to public health from pollution. Members, 20% of our Minnesota highways need a major rehabilitation project in the next 3 years. And it's not as if though it can't be done. There have been a number of states that have gone ahead and acted in the absence of federal action and done what needs to be done. Since 2013, 31 states in the District of Columbia have enacted legislation that will increase or may increase overall investment in their transportation system, including the gas tax. This year, thus far, Alabama, Arkansas, Ohio, and Virginia have enacted gas tax increases. Fond of talking about where we're at in terms of how much we spend in gas taxes in Minnesota and how that relates to our grade. The fact is that we raise a lot less from a single penny of the gas tax than a lot of the states that are cited. We have those terrible grade ratings from the American Society of Civil Engineers. We spend an average on a per penny per mile basis 15% less on our roadway system than other states. We have the C rating on our bridges. We have the C- on our transit, the D+ on our roadway system. Members, I'll wrap up. I could talk a lot more. This is an unfortunate bill. Transportation and transit is one of those key investments we make in the life, the vitality, the prosperity of our citizens. It is the key investment that we can make. And in your packet, you'll see an article that talks about how it is one of the key policy levers to get people up and out of poverty and solidly in the middle class. Transportation is the investment we can make. We're not doing that in this bill. This is a transportation bill to nowhere. All across the state, also in your packet, are the articles and the resolutions from county boards and city boards calling for us to do better and to do more. Even the Chamber of Commerce, their letter that supports this bill says, we hope we get to conference and do better. All I can remember the Chamber of Commerce is completely embracing Republican transportation bills in the past. It's a very qualified support. That's very telling, members. We know that the investment will return many, many billions of dollars back. We have the research from our local chambers of commerce, our metropolitan chambers of commerce members. I look forward to doing far, far better as this bill comes back from conference committee. I encourage a red vote, although I'll be going to the conference committee, hopefully. Thank you, Mr. President.